What's this game I've heard about?
Even now in this MMO drought,
I'm not sure, I have my doubt.
I think I want to play a scout.
Pantheon rises the fallen. Pantheon rises the fallen. I heard it's all about the PvE.
I'm so excited I got to pee.
He's so excited he's got to pee. Oh my goodness gracious me. He's got to pee. He's got to pee.
They say it won't have a cash shop,
and it won't be easy to get a good drop.
Will it keep the trolls at bay? I'm gonna play the hours away.
Pantheon, 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 rise of the fallen. I've been waiting for this game since 1999.
so have all of we. Will they come out? Do they have enough funding? Are they going to improve the animations? How are they going to do it for more ratings? Going to end up like EverQuest Next? Are they going to sell out to a big publisher?
Put your trust in Brad McQuaid, making games for 2 decades. Stark near they are mermaids. On down, you'll get the raid. I heard it'll be a subscription fee. Heard it's all about the PvE. I'm so excited I got to be.
He's so excited. He's so excited.
He's got to pee. To pee.
You're listening to Standing in Fire. Welcome, everybody, to the Standing in Fire podcast. My name is Boom, and I gotta tell you, you are in for a treat tonight. We have the most excellent show. As always, I am joined by Militus and Tess, but tonight, as you've already kind of seen if you were on our stream, but you heard if you were on our podcast, we have the NATHAN NAPALM in the house. Nathan, how are you doing?
Hello. Doing great. Glad to be here.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting.
I am so happy. I am so happy.
How did we possibly follow that though?
That was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Awesome. That was awesome.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
My Lord.
And yes, I'm just excited that we're here. We're talking about the one and only Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. We've got a bunch of great information we're going to share. We've got some phone calls. We've got of course, we're going to interview Nathan and talk about what he's been up to and what he's been working on to sort of bolster and boost the community. And we've got our Moments of Zen this week, which I'm really excited about. So those of you who don't know what Moments of Zen,
has never heard that yet.
No.
They've never heard the Moment of Zen section.
You're going to love the Moments of Zen. We're going to have a great time. But before we do all of that, Tess, please, please tell everybody how they can get a hold of us.
Of course. Me. Okay, you can go to our website. Nope.
No, that didn't work.
Nope.
All right, okay.
Nope.
Go ahead. Website. That wasn't me, by the way, everybody. That was Militus.
Our website, never again. You can go to our website. I hate that sound. At stopstandinginfire.com. You can email us at stopstandinginfire@gmail.com. You can tweet us. You can reach out to the show at SIF Podcast. You can tweet Boom at BoomTapLive, Militus at Old Militus, or Tess at Debuff This. Or you can call or text us at 702-625-1337.
That spells leads. Hell yeah.
All right, like I said, every single week, my computer is holding on by the slightest of threads. I'm next week. I'm gonna take this thing. I'm just gonna toss out the window, and I'm going to put a
Are
brand
you
new.
gonna Office Space it?
I might. I need to get a real. So this show, when I always tell everybody this thing goes on barely, it like barely happens. Let me explain this to you. If you go into any office park and you go to like a building where maybe they've been doing work there for quite a few years, it's not like a new office building. But you know how office buildings get kind of have an age to them, like the furniture just looks a little older and everything looks a little older. That's where this PC came from. So it came from one of those areas. Yes, that's it.
That's what Boom's PC sounds like when he tries to connect and play video games.
Yeah, I have to go through the 56K modem sounds before I get there. And so, when we're talking about pulling this show off, that's the kind of level of commitment we have. We get this old-fashioned computer to actually kind of.
Tess, he lumped us in with.
Yes.
I have an excellent gaming rig. I don't know what he's talking about.
That's fantastic, you guys. That's
I've got a
fantastic,
3-screen setup.
And that's why you tease me.
Whoa.
That's why you guys tease me for having an Xbox, but I have to have an Xbox because this thing is so cruddy. I can't play anything on it. All right.
I gotta throw this out there to Brad McQuaid and that Tess and I'm sure Nathan as well. We're alpha ready, Brad. Now, Boom, probably not. But
bring it.
3 of us, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just remember that.
I'm gonna have to do
Brad,
something. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
The technology teacher can't get his stuff together.
Hey, I do want to say that Brad McQuaid's not running on the best equipment either. He wants the game to be playable for as many people as possible.
Well, and
so I think it'll be all right, Boom. I think it'll be fine.
So I think maybe we should have a talk. Like maybe he needs to come. I need to test that for him because I could test it on subpar equipment.
No.
Yeah.
We're testing the lower threshold of what's the bare minimum.
Yeah, we can get down to the lowest level of this and see if it works. And if it does, then happy days. Because I think I have a squirrel in there powering this thing. It's that old, which is pretty exciting. So I wanted to get kind of started, but we had a quick news announcement there, Militus. What was this news announcement that you had?
Yeah. I just wanted to put it out there because I think a lot of people today I saw this on Twitter. They were all abuzz because, as I was telling Nathan in the pre-show, if you've been following Pantheon for any length of time, this week of the month, you have that Pavlovian response where you start salivating out the side of your mouth, and you're like, you're anticipating getting this newsletter, but you might remember last month they kind of changed up the release of the newsletter, and they'll be coming out next week. And so I want to thank Basgram for reminding me of that because honestly, I got up this morning, started the salivation. I was kind of getting really excited, and then I saw a tweet. I'm like, that's right. I need to wait until next week. So next week, I'm sure a lot of us in the community will be talking about it, but we'll certainly be talking about it on the podcast as well. So news, hold your horses. We got another week. I know people are really chomping at the bit because people are hoping for an announcement of pre-alpha, the next pre-alpha phasing. So hold your horses. We got one more week to wait. So hang tight.
My beer is frozen. In other news,
it's Colorado. It often gets frozen.
It's completely frozen solid. This is a beer pop. It's not gonna happen.
That's because of the lack of wheat, I think.
Yeah, it could be. There's no wheat in that beer, so it is completely frozen. We did, guys, get a voicemail this week, so I thought I'd share this with you. Are you guys ready for this week's voicemail? Okay, I think you guys are gonna really like this one.
Hey, Standing in Fire. So I hear there's a big buzz with Pantheon with the halfling race, so I figured I would voice my comments about the halfling race. So, one day I was walking down the street and I saw someone pickpocket a halfling. Man, and I don't know how anyone could stoop so low. Hey, why do halflings have a hard time raising a family? Well, it's because they struggle to put food on the table. I asked a halfling to lend me $5 the other day. He said, sorry, I'm a little short. And I met a couple of halflings today. They were really down to earth. And did you hear the one about the psychic halfling who escaped from jail? Apparently, he's a small medium who's at large. Hey, Hey, why did the halfling cross the road? Oh, to get on the bus because halflings can't drive like normal people. Hey, what's the difference between a halfling and being awesome? Oh, that's right, everything. You know, a halfling walks into a bar, and no one cares because it's a halfling. So how many halflings does it take to screw in a light bulb? 0, because halflings are stupid. You know, your mama's so fat. She's a halfling. A halfling goes to the doctor, and the doctor says that, hey, that they're sick. And the halfling says, well, can I get a second opinion? The doctor says, sure, you're also a halfling, and no one likes you. Anyway, I hope my comments were insightful. Catch you later.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh, yes.
I know where he lives too. And I will be visiting his house.
Oh my gosh, my favorite there was the doctor saying your second opinion is you're also a halfling and nobody likes you. Oh my gosh.
It is, guys. It's almost Valentine's Day.
Archive for the
Valentine's Day.
Archive for the
Kiss the
win.
door. Kiss the
Well,
door.
you know, according to Pantheon Plus, though, Boomy, with your wonderful rig, you won't be able to load those glow effects anyway.
There's no way I can do it. I can't.
It's not gonna.
I can't actually play it. I'm just gonna be like you know, when the characters don't fully render, that's just like a silhouette. That'll be me. That's okay. That is so funny.
We also had another question from chat. Now, this question is for Nathan Napalm from Fragile.
Right, go ahead.
He would like to know what do you kind of anticipate might be talked about in the next newsletter?
Oh, let's hear it. I'm intrigued.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. We're gonna crack into the interview then. Just go. That was the first interview question. Go for it.
All right then. So
oh, I'm sorry.
This coming newsletter, I do actually believe that we're going to see big updates to what they've been doing behind the scenes on Fair L. We're going to see, I think, some screenshots. We maybe a video, but I think that might be asking too much. And I think that there's going to be a lot of pictures. And I think since we kind of got a little screwed over in January's newsletter, we didn't get much out of that. I think they're going to throw something special, like maybe a date. Like, this is our target date for
that's pretty
pre-alpha,
cool.
not alpha, but for pre-alpha.
Pre-alpha
Yeah.
5, right?
Yeah.
For the next phase. Yeah.
Yeah, for the next
What do you,
phase, yeah.
Nathan, what do you think? How long do you think Pre-alpha 5 will run, in your opinion? What do you think? 2 months? 3 months?
Since it's such a big one, and we're looking at this whole zone, and what was the wording they used, that it was at the minimum caliber of launch. I think 2 months, maybe 3. I think this is the last pre-alpha, though. That's my opinion. I think this is it. We're moving to alpha after this.
Package. We're going to talk about that later. Right? We definitely want to talk about that.
You think so? Really, 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 honestly?
I think so.
Everyone, you heard it here first from Nathan Napalm.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Yeah.
Baby. No.
Oh my gosh. I like how he prefaces that with my opinion. Do you think that in that note we'll find out the true origins of the Archai and their surfing nature? Are we going to see a surfboard in game?
I don't think so. I think that's going to be an expansion. I think you got a long wait on that.
All right. The Archai surf expansion. I love it. That also you heard here first. Nathan guaranteed a surfing expansion. Okay. All right, Nathan, you're on a roll. Well, Nathan, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. I know that you make some amazing videos. We saw the puppets. We saw the music. What are you up to? What's going on with the gaming community, and how are you involved in supporting it? Give us some lowdown on what's up.
Okay, so basically, I'm trying to get a little bit more active with the other content creators. I feel like we're all kind of forming a good community around our individual followers, and we're bringing them all together. We're helping each other out by sharing the followers, and also just growing the community, and we're kind of setting the pace for what this community ends up being. So that's kind of my goal. That's the only reason I made the channel. I just wanted to kind of foster the community a little bit, bring a little bit of craziness to it, I guess you could say, and just have a good time. And I think doing things like you guys do on the show, and we talk together in Discord, and we hang out, and we play games together. And I think we're just forming as Lady Solitude said, a nice cult, a nice one.
Gotcha, a nice cult.
Whenever I first stumbled upon, Pantheon, your channel and Basgrim's channel were two of the first ones I found, and so I'm watching a lot of, and I remember the first impression I had of you was obviously I loved your intro and your outro because it made me laugh. But for a long time as an MMO player, people that made YouTube videos, I felt like were so serious, right?
Yeah.
They were so
Oh yeah, that's true.
or critical. And
Yeah,
I don't want to go down
right.
that road too much, but they were so serious that like I would watch the videos and my emotional state would go down. Like I would watch the video and I would feel like worse for having watched the video. And that's not what entertainment's supposed to be about, right? And so I
Right.
stumbled upon your channel and a lot of other great, Pantheon Plus and Voices of Terminus, all these great community members. And I actually felt happy after watching your video or laughing. And I think that what you mentioned is really so important. All of us come together. I think what we do is we set some community expectations that if we're all altruistic and we're sharing and nurturing and positive, as Minus likes to always say, then people typically that fall into that community, they'll typically align with those standards that have been set forth, for a long time before they got there. So, man, big props to you for setting that kind of tone, making it fun with the puppets and I gotta pee and all the fun scripts you do, because that sets a really positive, fun tone for people like me that just kind of stumble in the community. I'm like, man, this is my home. This is where I want to be. These are my people, because these people are encouraging and they're positive. So props to you, man, for doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is the amazing part. So what has been so far the big joy for you in all of this? Like what sorts of takeaways have you had from working with the community, and what sorts of things are you looking forward to as we move forward?
Well, definitely the greatest part of everything has been I expected a much harsher reality to the channel when I started talking about Pantheon. I expected much harsher language to be used against me. I've actually found that the game itself, probably because of the actual style that's going for, a more patient, journey-based game, that the community has. It's almost like they're gathering the greatest of MMO players, So that's definitely been
That's a good
very
way to put it.
eye-opening to me. So, I just think that as we move forward, and I think the communities are really going to start booming once we get to launch or even beta. I think at beta, it's really just going to explode because of the MMO drought and everything. I think we're going to get people just pouring in, and I'm really looking forward to that.
One of the things that Minus said last week when I was listening back to the podcast was he said that one of the important part of having this community and getting this community together and getting it strong before we get into that stage where everybody starts coming over is that there's kind of that fear that these people have been kind of trained and they're going to come from these other games and try to bring it down. What do you think about that? Are we going to be able to kind of rally together as a positive force and keep this thing upbeat and exciting, or do you think they're going to come in and steamroll us and take us down with negativity?
Our cult shall prevail.
Yeah, I think that our cult will withstand their temper. I think that what will happen is at launch we're going to see this very mashed up kind of. We're going to see those people, like they're going to be there at launch. They'll be gone within their 30 days. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
The good people will stay. And honestly, I think some of these people only behave a certain way because that's how they think they're supposed to behave. And I think Pantheon's gameplay and the systems in place are going to foster them into playing a certain way. Like EverQuest did back in the day. We didn't know how to behave in an online game with that many people back then.
Right.
The game kind of forced us into it because we were like, oh my gosh, I can't act like a jerk. I can't rage quit on my group because I won't get invited again. And they're going to remember me, and it just kind of fosters behaving well.
Well, I think that's really interesting because I listened to your recent video
Mhm.
where you were reading the article and kind of commenting on the different realms or shards. And I thought that kind of echoed what Militus had been saying for a while, which was server identity. And if you're an awesome person and people like to play with you, then there's a little bit of fame or notoriety to be had either way. And so I think that's really interesting. Like people, if there's not a ginormous single world, then yeah, that's going to cause that either notoriety or fame, either way, good or bad reputation, which I think is really interesting. And I think it's so exciting.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what's I think where we've gone wrong as an industry, and I'm not that we're in the industry, but we're consumers and we spend money in the industry. But I think Brad's even mentioned this in some of his interviews. But it seems like to me, what's gone wrong is that the need for progress, right? The need to achieve things as a character has been shifted away from social achievements to loot only achievement.
Yeah.
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 So it's not Militus is a good guy. He's a guy that's patient and he won't ditch you as a healer, even though you screw up mechanics, because he'll stand in fire too. He'll stay with you. It's what's your gear score? What's your Raider IO? Oh, you're not good enough. Like it's just a quantitative. There's no like qualitative measure of you as a person in an MMO anymore. It's more like this very simple quantification, and that's it. And you never really even learn people's names. You just look for that number, and then you're on about your day. So, well, I have a question for Nathan Boom.
Yeah, go for it.
I have to ask this. All right, so I've been dying to ask.
Okay, all right.
What's the story behind your intro? Give me some, because you are known for that. Like I mean, Basgrim, all the people in the community, they speak to it in Discord and on the website. What is the story behind your intro? If you could give us some insight.
Well, it first of all just kind of developed. So if you go back to earlier videos, you'll hear like a really dumb version of it. You'll just kind of slowly see it get pieced together over time. But I think you're referring to where I say each day that passes brings us a day closer to the launch of Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. The reason I do that is because that's how I actually feel. That's how I get through every day. I'm like, I wake up and I'm like, we're a day closer, baby. Day closer. We're gonna get there. Like I don't know when it is, but I know I'm a day closer than I was yesterday. So that's how I feel daily. So I just kind of decided I'd put that out there, and I liked it when I heard it, and so I just kept doing it. But that's something I want the community to understand, because we kind of feel lost right now, right? We're just kind of waiting month to month for the little newsletter, waiting, hoping to hear something about alpha, beta. We have no idea when this game's coming out. So, it's good to have something to say, well, at least I'm a day closer to whenever it is,
Whenever it is, yes.
Yeah, whenever it is. So
that's awesome.
That's pretty much it. It was, that's how I feel. So
Cool.
That speaks to your positivity right there. That you're coming up with some ways to sort of encourage yourself. What are you most looking forward to gameplay wise? Like, what is it about Pantheon the game that you're just like, I'm just excited about this?
Well, everything about the vision is great, but the things I'm most excited about would be, number one, the journey, going back to a game where I'm not rushing the end game, where I'm actually enjoying the leveling up process, getting to new dungeons, exploring those dungeons, where it's a faraway goal to get to end game, and it's not something that I feel like I need to rush to. And then also, of course, to add to that would be the perception system. I feel like the perception system is going to slow people down a lot too, as they like run across these random little things in the world, and then they're like, I got to know what this is all about. Slows them down. The whole group decides to go on it and that kind of thing. So, that's my thing, the journey. That's what I'm most excited about.
I am
awesome.
also. I think everybody is kind of getting geared up for that, especially as we had a little fun. We're going to talk about it a little bit later, but we had a nice little time in another game called Vanguard that was kind of fun, and we were all playing together, and it was kind of brought some of that out, I think. So that was going to be good.
Definitely.
Yes, Tess, you have your hand up, which you don't have to do. You can just actually talk. Yes, go ahead.
So I had a question. Your puppets, Nathan, are phenomenal. They bring me so much joy. And so have you ever seen Avenue Q? That's my only question.
I don't think so.
Okay.
What is
I'm a musical nerd. And Avenue Q is a hit Broadway musical that's like Sesame Street for adults. It's like
Oh,
like,
I have seen it. I have
Yeah.
seen it.
I
Now
have
that
done
you
some
said
of that,
that,
by
yeah.
the way. I take puppets and do
Mhm.
Sesame Street for adults all the time.
It's raunchy. The same guy that wrote all the music for Avenue Q is the guy that partnered up with the South Park guys to make Book of Mormon.
Oh,
So I mean,
fantastic.
it's raunch, it's great. It just makes
I'm gonna
me
have
so
to actually
happy.
watch that.
And that's
yeah.
what it makes me think of you. Oh, it is amazing. I'll get you tickets. Boom, we'll go together
All right.
to
that
go see
sounds-
Avenue Q.
Nathan and
sounds
I are
great.
feeling a little left out
Yeah,
here.
you guys are
Well,
left out.
Come to
Te-
hey,
Tess
if
and
you
I are
come
doing
to
a puppet show.
Colorado, I will get
we'll
you
have to
tickets
find
to
a midway point between Virginia Beach and East
that
Tennessee.
has a Broadway
hook up for-
musical stop.
Bristol,
Omaha.
Bristol. He was talking about Bristol earlier. I'm sure Bristol's on the.
I think Omaha might have one.
Okay, well, I
Well,
have another question for
yeah,
for
go ahead.
Nathan.
Go ahead.
So I asked him about his intro, but
Yes.
I am equally
Okay.
as entertained
Mhm.
by his outro.
Right.
So I have a question. You have spoken about your wife before on videos. I've heard you talk about her gaming interest and your gaming interest. She might even be with us in chat.
She is
tonight.
Winter.
Yeah,
yes.
I thought that was her. So is that her and you singing the duo as you outro?
Sometimes. So what it is I will tell her she can actually sing, right? Like I'm just kind of doing it even though I have no talent. So she actually can sing. So I'll try to get her involved, and sometimes she'll do it, and sometimes she'll just be like, "That's stupid. I'm not doing that." So that I faked it. I just like turned my tone up a lot so it sounded like a female because I couldn't talk her into doing that one. She didn't agree with some of the lyrics, so.
Oh, I
She
see.
think was funny. So,
I see.
but she is in a lot of the songs. Not that one in particular, though. She decided not to go in.
I always assumed it was her, and so I always thought it was really cool. And that part makes me laugh. I'll say this to you: it's rare that I watch a YouTube video to its conclusion. Right? I'm not sure about you guys,
Mhm.
but like I watch a YouTube
right.
video,
Yeah.
and I'll start to kind of get to the end where people are wrapping up, and I'm just like,
Mhm,
I'm on
mhm.
to the next video. But not Nathan. No, I got to
No.
stick around for that outro because it's the bomb, man. I love it. I love the singing because I feel like I can sing with you. Maybe that's speaking to my singing ability as well.
You have a lovely singing voice.
Right.
Let's
Anyways,
collab and do a song one day.
Yes. I want to hear
yes.
that song. I want to hear the
I want to hear it
Militus
so bad.
Nathan Napalm song. Yes, that's the
it'd be
thing.
like
We got to
Naked
do
and
that.
Afraid.
That's
version.
happening. Yeah, the Naked and Afraid version. Yes, there we go. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and move on into our next segment, which is our moments of Zen. That's right. This is where you probably haven't heard this before, but we talk about kind of what we've been doing this last week in gaming, and it's important on this show because we probably have been doing something different since we are not playing Pantheon unless one of us has broken into the Pantheon studio and
I play
played
it
at
in my
night,
dreams.
which
Oh,
we
there
can
you go.
talk about doing if anybody is willing to. I'm willing to do a little breaking and entering if we need to, so we can go ahead and do like a quick, we can scale the walls. I always wanted to cut the little holes out in the window so I can reach in. We could do any of those kinds of things to get into the Pantheon office, and we could go ahead and get in there. I will just paste our Kai stuff everywhere, so that will be because I want them to realize how important the archive
know
are.
who broke in the next morning.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, Tess,
So, well,
what is your
before
moment?
I go into my
What is your moment of Zen, Tess?
before I go into my moment of Zen, I just want to say that that Minus gave us an update.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Okay, fantastic. Let's hear it.
First place on the what race do you want to play?
Dwarf.
Yes.
Dark Mirror. Dark Mirror.
I saw that and I could not believe that.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
yes.
am shocked by that.
You can't? No,
No.
it makes total sense to me. What? Second. What? Halfling Master Race. Dwarf is third, and Arkai is fifth. So suck on that, Boomy.
Yeah, I was a little shocked by that Arkai was that low. I was shocked.
Yeah, I don't understand at all because Arkai is easily the best thing to be. Look at that Arkai. He looks just like me. He's got that awesome thistle. Like I said, my wife had to cut my hair and my eyebrows. Everything. It's like me. I'm so excited about this. I just can't even tell you. So Tess, go ahead and give us your moment of Zen. Tell us what happened.
Okay, so my moments of Zen. I'm in work hell. This is absolute work hell. This whole year so far. I'm a
That's your
music
moment of
teacher.
Zen is work hell.
No, let me finish.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Is that
I wasn't
a Blizzard game?
Yeah,
I
it's called
teach moment work hell.
too soon. Too soon, Militus. Too soon.
soon.
All right, go ahead.
But yeah, I've just been. I teach high school music and theater, and so I'm in work hell until May, really. So working 12-hour days is just rough. So I got to play like 5 minutes in Vanguard with the boys, and so I'm gonna let them talk about it. I only got to play for like 5 seconds, but I did find out this interesting thing about legacy board games. Have you guys heard about this?
No, like Monopoly.
Okay. No. These are called legacy board games. And the way that they work, the ones that they have out right now are like Risk, Legacy, Pandemic, Legacy, Betrayal at House on the Hill, Legacy. And the way it works is that you play multiple games, like dozens of games, and each one builds on the other and creates a story.
Right.
And you add stickers to the game board as you unlock things, and you rip up cards and write on cards and do all of these things. And at each game that you play kind of builds it up. The bad thing is though, is once you end the end of the legacy, that game is not replayable. So what do you guys think about like a $60 board game? It'll probably give you 25 games out of it, but then it's done. It is not replayable.
Does it like light on fire? Like what? Like
No, like it has like rules that says once you play this card, rip it up, and you
have to rip it. You
the
just
card
rip
up.
your games
Yeah.
up.
Jeez.
And you write
This
on
is
it. It says like
very destructive.
write on
Tess.
this and add stickers and do all these
Oh my
things,
goodness.
and then
This is
each
very
additional game
destructive.
you play.
I
Well,
think
what do
if
you
you
think
have
about that?
if you have Nathan Napalm kind of money, that's your
Yeah,
game.
that's right.
But if you have Militus money, that's
Yeah.
definitely not your game. Like
No, this is not your
can't
game,
touch
right?
that game.
You can't be just
Okay, I'm
you
gonna
can't be
put-
forking out for that kind of stuff.
No, I can't afford that.
Now I just want to say this. Boom, you and I have played Betrayal at House on the Hill
Oh,
together.
you're right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link in the description of this. I'm going to link a Game the Game from Geek and Sundry episode
All
of them playing
Just ripping stuff
this
up.
new Betrayal. It's guys, it looks so fun.
All right,
It
I want
looks
to see
so
it.
fun.
You got me
Okay, I'm
enticed.
going to link it.
Although I will tell
And
you,
see
I
what you
like to
guys think
steal
about it.
people's ideas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the same thing only with fire. Right? So
Burn the
you just-
cards.
Yeah, you burn
I
the
want
crap.
It comes with a
Yes.
Bic lighter in
Nathan,
the
yes, you just get there's some torches or some things. Maybe you shoot rockets and blow stuff up. You're like, you do not pass go. Now blow the board up, and you take it outside and just boom, right? Board's gone. Very, very exciting. My game. It will have
This
a lot.
this coming
more
from
going.
a school principal. This is
Yep,
fascinating.
Well, where do you think I learn all this stuff? They teach me all kinds of things. Like I
teach
learn.
you.
Yes, they come in and they're like, Mr. Cross, if you really want to destroy something, let me tell you, this is how you do it. And then I can do that. So it's awesome. This is fantastic. So that
I
was
got something to say about that.
Yes, go
Would-
ahead.
Would you guys play on a server if Brad McQuaid made a server rule set to where it was brutal, hardcore, right? And if you die, it overloads your computer and your computer just breaks. That's it.
Oh, wow.
Done.
Well,
That's
yes,
really
my
upsetting.
computer, yes.
No.
So that's permadeath for the PCs. What you're
Right.
suggesting.
I'm in.
Like,
I
game.
couldn't even do permadeath for my character. Like
I'm
I
in.
could not play that rule set. I couldn't do it.
Wow. That, I mean,
I'm
that
totally
scares
in.
me,
Yeah.
but it equally intrigues the hell out of me at the
Yeah,
same
because it's
time.
like life. Now all of a
And-
sudden, you're life or death. It is a real matter of life or death. You got to survive that mob.
And it's a PvP server.
Oh no.
Okay.
I can't
'Cause-
do it.
Nathan, you didn't get a chance to play with us. We played this game called WildStar, and it's where Militus holds most of his fame and fortune from. And in this game, WildStar, there was a character. His name was Spoon.
Yes. Infamous Spoon.
Spoon hung out. He was PvP server. He hung out in the zone, and you would spawn in the zone to do your dailies, and Spoon would come and kill you. Now, Spoon didn't just kill a
wait
couple of
outside
us.
the gate.
Yeah.
He would wait outside the gate of the spawn point.
Yeah,
And so we would walk out with five or well,
we would
let's
get
preface this.
groups.
He power leveled, Nathan, and then he early in WildStar's launch, much like early WoW with resilience gear and stuff.
Yeah.
He power leveled and he got the highest rank PvP gear that was there.
And he was
So
also
he would
good.
stand outside the gate and be like, "Come on." we would go out and we would go at him with like what 6-7 players.
You'd get
and
6
he
or
would
7
kill
guys.
Most of us.
He would kill you
most
all.
of us.
Yeah.
And they would
Wow.
a typical rogue, right?
Yeah,
He would kill
right.
like four of us,
And
and
dance
when
on
we
you.
nearly got him down, he would go into the cloak of shadows or whatever, and he's gone. I'm like,
Yep.
"Oh."
And he would chase you. Like you would enter the zone and run away from Spoon. And he would hunt you down
he would
and
hunt
kill
you
you.
down.
He was literally.
He's
I know I
infamous.
didn't play WildStar, but he is literally like the antagonist in the South Park WoW episode.
That's what I was thinking of. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was thinking of.
Spoon
he
is
was
the
so
biggest deal
infamous.
in WildStar. Biggest deal in the whole game.
Okay, WildStar launched in 2014. It's now 2019. 5 years
I'm
later,
still
right?
talking about him. Yep.
My 14-year-old son still walks to me at debate. He's like, "Dad, you see Spoon ever?" I'm like, "Son, the game's gone."
Yeah, the game's gone.
He's oblivious to the game being gone. Everything. He just wants to know about Spoon because he's heard all these infamous stories about his PvP conquest.
Yeah,
no
Spoon was really quite a treat. I tell you what. So I don't know if I do the PvP because I feel like, sorry
There
Pantheon
will be a
players.
spoon.
I think Spoon will play this game.
he probably will. Yeah, he
Okay.
probably will.
I'm almost 100% sure Spoon is going to play this game. And I just hope he was an early guy, got in early so that he gets the name Spoon. I just hope because
If he
he's-
does get in the game, I want to
Yes.
see Spoon versus Fragile. I want to see that 1v1.
Yes. All right. 1v1
And
Spoon.
I will throw gold at both of them. Like I'll
Yes. We'll throw down.
be.
I tell you what, man, that is very exciting. Well, Nathan, how about you this week? What was your moment of Zen?
Okay, so this week would have to be I'm gonna make some people mad, but it's been Elder Scrolls Online, man. I've been enjoying the
I
lore.
love you so.
It's cool. It's a cool game. It may not be what we want out of an MMO, but if you just play it just to get some good
Yeah.
story, it's a great game.
It's a great game.
So I've been checking out the lore, and I would say my exact moment of Zen was I finished the new Somerset, and it has a really cool ending. It was so cool.
Oh, very cool. That is a fun game. I've just
It's
been getting into it.
pretty,
I
too.
think I don't even know what level I'm in, but I'm actually starting to get the hang of it. It took me a little bit longer to get into ESO. I don't know why, but I had to break through the
I can
initial
understand that.
steps. Yeah.
The learning curve for that game
Something
is
intangible about it, and
Yeah,
I don't know
there
what.
is.
I can't put my finger on it. I just can't. I want to love it. I want to
Yeah,
play the hell out
right.
of it. It's for me. It's like Nathan. I'm not sure about you, but I can get in and play for a while, but I don't feel as like compelled to like come back the next day. I'm not like as eager to come back.
No.
Milla, Mama Tess asks about you
I know.
every Single.
Nathan, Tess's mom runs a guild in ESO, which I'm in.
Oh.
And so I'll log in and she'll see my name, but then I basically log in and up my writing skill. And then I log out.
Oh man.
Oh,
Occasionally
my
I'll run
gosh.
a dungeon. The dungeons are fun. I'll run a dungeon.
Yeah, the dungeons are fun.
Yeah.
That's what I've been enjoying. Is I've been doing some dungeons. So that's awesome. I don't think anybody's gonna get mad at you for that at all. I think that's kind of what this is about. We have to have some things to kind of keep us going. And right now, I'm telling you, it's pretty thin. It's pretty thin out there for this. So,
No doubt.
when you can
Who
find a
wants
home
to
in
play
ESO, that's
some
great.
Secret World with me?
Who wants to play some Vanguard with me?
Well, okay.
I'm gonna get Vanguard. I'm on that train.
All
Sorry.
right, everybody's on the Vanguard train.
There's a
Militus, that's going to lead us right into your moment. Your moment of Zen.
So I have 2 moments of Zen. On this side of me is extreme happiness. On this side of me is that scene out of the Griswold Family Vacation when they go to Las Vegas and
Mhm.
Clark walks up to the table and the dealer says, "Why don't I just kick you in the nuts, take half your money, and we'll call it even?" That's
Mhm.
that
right,
side.
right. That's how you're feeling.
So this side, the positive side, the fun side was a friend of mine had mentioned to me, "Hey, Militus, you're so excited for Pantheon. Did you
Mhm.
ever play Vanguard?" And I said, "I don't know what you're talking about.
Hmm.
I have no idea." He said, "Well, Brad McQuaid, if you want to get a sense of," he said, albeit this was 2007, but if you want to get a sense of McQuaid's philosophy without going all the way back to EverQuest, you should play Vanguard, except
Mhm.
there's one problem. It's been shut down by not Sony Online Entertainment. Who bought them? I forget the company that bought SOE. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Daybreak.
Okay.
Daybreak.
Okay.
Daybreak
Yeah.
Games.
Yeah.
So he said, but here's the good news. There's an emulator server out there to play if you want. It's not completely finished, but go check it out. So I loaded it, and man, I have been having so much fun. But then I have some friends that are still playing a WoW that have good relationships with.
Right.
And that's the
hard.
tough part about MMOs,
That's
right? Is that you build
really hard.
relationships with people. And so I went and raided, and it's not them. Because a lot of them listen to this podcast. So I just want you guys to know I love you and I love playing with you.
Yeah.
It wasn't that, but it just felt like
I love all
someone
those
kicked me in
guys
the
too.
nuts.
Yeah. I love all those
It-
guys too.
And it really wasn't anything to do with WoW. It was I played on Tuesday, which
Yeah,
was the day
right.
a lot of those layoffs were announced and
Yeah.
stuff. So it was
That is
kind
hard.
of when you hear about 800 people losing their job in the gaming industry, it just kind of puts a sour, perspective
Yeah.
on what you're doing. So as bad as the time I had in WoW, I had a great time in Vanguard and leveled up, and all these, a lot of little things like Pantheon. Like, for example, one small thing I noticed in Vanguard, there's a little compass in the middle of the top screen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing maybe that was an EverQuest, Nathan. I'm not sure if there was a little compass up there.
Yeah.
But in the streams I've seen of Pantheon, I see the same little compass. A lot of Brad's fingerprints all over it.
Right.
And I don't
right.
want to get into all. But honestly, I'm just having a blast in it. Just loved it. We ran with Minus and a bunch of other Haya and Fragile, and I'm leaving a lot of people out. We ran Boom and I. We ran this raid, open world raid last Sunday night, and we played. I got mad at Boom because I texted him. I'm like, Boom, you let me play until 1:30 in the
yeah,
morning.
it
I
was
saw
late.
that text.
I have to go to work, dude.
Yeah, it was late.
I didn't even realize we were playing for like 4 hours.
It
And
was
so I
late.
went to bed.
Yeah,
But
it was
it was
late.
a blast. That was my moment of Zen. Playing in Vanguard. My moment of Zen.
It was definitely a late night. A lot of East Coasters were on there, and we were just going for it. And I think the plan is to do some more of that this Sunday.
Yes,
So if you're
Sunday nights.
interested, we'll post the links and everything to come join us.
This Sunday night? I don't
Yeah.
have to work on Monday.
There you go.
I think
So we will
I think
post
we're
the
planning every
links.
Sunday night.
Yeah.
Okay.
We will post the link. Everybody can come. We basically we got this MMO. We all just kind of huddle together in a big group. We just wander,
Do I
talk,
have to be a certain
and
level?
just
Do I have
go
homework?
stuff.
Oh, now boom! In your moment, you have to talk about our big kill
Oh, okay. I'll talk about
at the
big
starting
kill.
zone.
Okay, even though I didn't at the time, I had no idea what was going on, but I will go ahead and talk about that. So, my moment of Zen was, of course, actually getting a chance to play the Vanguard with everybody, because again, it was the people. It was getting to go and play that with the people, and it was kind of fun because we were playing. We incredibly buggy. A bunch of things weren't working quite right. I made a Reddit post about this, about all the things I actually enjoyed about it, and the things that didn't matter. It was crazy how so many of the details of the game actually didn't matter to me. It was more about going in there and kind of accomplishing some stuff together. And one of the funnest scenes was I was a level 1. I hadn't even done it. I think I had a one spell on my bar. I think that's all I had. And Militus is like, hey, you got to go drop these eggs off, and then spawns this level 30 bird or whatever, and the bird's going to come down and we're all going to kill it. And I'm just like, okay. And so I go up there, and sure enough, we're up there and we're hacking away at this bird that kind of flew in, and we downed him, and it was like 5 levels that I got from that one kill. It was just went
You're not supposed to go after this bird.
This is not a thing that's supposed to do it.
You were not supposed to try to kill it, but we you left that one funny thing. We wiped actually because my man Minus is still with us, right?
Yeah.
So Minus is tanking, but he didn't have like a taunt.
No.
Because he's so low level, he doesn't even have a taunt. And I'm playing a druid, and I have a heal that's really dependent on me DPSing. I'm not a pure healer. He's like, heal me, Militus. I'm like, I got you, bro. I got you. Jump on him. And so we jumped on this big level 30. What we had, about 6 or 7 people, 5 or 6 people, something like that. And all of a sudden he loses aggro because he can't taunt. And so the bird is like chasing me. And then it starts chasing Boom. It's just running all over the place, and it starts killing people. And it was like we had a raid at level 3, which
it was so crazy. And then that's the best part, though. The best part of it, and this is what I love about the older school MMO, is we sort of made our own fun. There was no real reward there for us. That reward was actually us coming up against our own challenge in the world, sort of making our own game up, and then going and conquering it. And when we did, it was like this, we were all just like jumping for joy because we were able to accomplish this really cool task. So it was really, really fun. Really, really good time.
I have my hand up.
Yes, I see that. You may.
May I ask my question? Thank you.
Go for it.
So, Nathan, were you playing with these guys?
No, not yet. I haven't installed it yet.
Okay. I almost rage quit because I couldn't get it to unzip right. I was throwing it in Discord, but I figured it out. But so my question is, what are you going to roll?
Well, I would like to be a tank.
Is that usually what you like to play in games?
Yeah. So it depends on the game. So like, if I know the game is going to be an instance-based game where I'm just going to like get in queue, I don't really get the same excitement. So I might play anything then, but like in a real open world, public dungeon, I want to be a tank, I just get the most joy out of it.
Well,
And so then you're playing you're playing heals?
Yeah, I'm playing a cleric. Of course. I started playing druid just for fun because I'm, when Pantheon launches, I'm still a little like in my heart, I want to be a cleric. But part of me in Visionary Realms with the druid class. So I started druid, but then Militus, Minus was like, "Hey, Militus, you should switch to your cleric." And I'm like, "No, man, let's just roll." But at the end of the night, I was like, "I wish I had my cleric." I love my cleric in Vanguard. It's so much fun because you can like smash someone in the face and heal. And I mean,
that's a cleric. That's like just how D&D cleric works. It's not backline heals.
Smash him in the face and regenerate my mana. So like we're running through the dungeon, I cast a spell, just smash one in the face, and then my mana goes up, so I can keep people up as we're running through. It was so much fun.
Okay, so you're gonna main a cleric. What are you doing, Boomy?
I'm just doing some ranged damage. So
you're a Sork.
I'm a
Sorcerer.
sorcerer.
Oh, it's Sork.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I make a guess. Halfling bard.
A halfling bard.
So we'll see how it works.
Alright.
I'll be
It's
honest.
fun.
I'll be honest.
It's fun.
Well, I don't know yet because bard in a lot of the games that I've played so far where they had a bard class, it was hit or miss with some of the
It's
mechanics.
not
So I'm
bard
excited to
Pantheon.
see.
It's not that.
Well,
I'll-
say it again.
It's
I didn't hear what you said.
I mean, Bard in Vanguard is clearly not Bard in Pantheon.
Right.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not. But I think a lot of the aesthetics about the class you will
Mhm.
find pleasing, like the ability to create your own songs and name them. Did you?
I think it's Is it Pillars of Eternity
That's right. You can
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
name stuff. Yeah.
that has Bard? And the way that they made Bard was a little weird, but I'm excited to see what Vanguard does, and then I'm really excited to see what Pantheon does. And here's the deal: if it doesn't play to the way that I like to play it, oh well. If people enjoy it, I'll just go back to tanking. I'll just
There you
make
go.
a paladin.
There you go. Yeah. Well, I had one other moment of Zen, and that was I started playing Terra. Now, a lot of people are going to say, "Oh my goodness, that's that game with the hypersexualized
physics.
characters." Okay, yeah, which are
With
very
the boob
crazy.
physics.
I don't understand
they-
how they go so many different directions at one time. Like they make some really weird patterns. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to talk about.
It doesn't work that way.
Well, I wanted to talk about this because it's okay. You can't play Terra. So I wanted to be a gunner. And if you're a gunner, you can only be one of the female classes. There's a female like elf or something like that. That's all you can be, right? Now, I am going to get teased by my wife if I'm playing a female character in Terra, right? Like that. So what I did, I'm going to help everybody out there. This is what you do. You make the character look just like your wife, and you give it your wife's name, which is what I did. Now she can't tease me,
No.
okay? Because
I'm
it's
gonna
just
call
her.
her and see
Man.
what she thinks about that.
Yeah, it's just her. So my wife's running around and in this game. Now, granted, a few things have been enhanced, okay? But that's okay. That's okay. But now I've got some, it's just, and she'll say something like, "Oh my God, that's not," and I'll be like, "That's how I see you. That's what you look like to me, right?" This is a
No,
Valentine's
no.
Day trick, right, boys?
A trick.
This is how
That's
you
just
do it.
It's a trick. I'm calling your wife. I'm calling
All right.
her
All right, but
tomorrow morning.
this is how you handle this, right? So anyway, I got to level 40, and she's doing great. She's in there. She's the gunner class. She's got that big, huge gun, which it's gotta be something going with that too. Yeah, right.
So,
So there you
boom, Fantasy Freak in chat and I
Yes,
both want to
yes.
know, is this you trying to control your wife?
Well, in a way, I am. In a way, I am. That's actually really good. We're gonna have to have a whole episode where Militus breaks that down. No, it's
No, this is not touching that with a
Okay.
10-foot pole.
This
I'll
is
stick with
actually
gamer identity.
okay. You're gonna stick with
No.
that stuff. This is actually more, I think, about me not wanting to be teased for playing a game. But anyway, it is actually a lot of fun. So any of you guys that like to play, that's actually it's a good time. And I'm doing the same thing that Nathan was doing. It's like I needed something to kind of play. I was playing a little ESO, and then I got into Terra, and I was actually like, this is kind of fun. And the dungeons in Terra are actually kind of fun. It is exactly WildStar. That's what it is. Like when you go into a dungeon in Terra, it just plays like WildStar. Maybe not as hard. It's a little less difficult, but it's just kind of that experience. A lot of fun. So I recommend everybody does it. Well, we're going to go ahead and roll into our next segment as soon as I can find the sound clip. And indeed, I have found it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you make a character and make it look like your wife to play it in a video game,
You're from Colorado.
you might be from Colorado. But if you don't, you might be from Tennessee. That's right. It's time for the Militus's down home Reddit segment. Militus, take it away. What do you got for us today?
Yeah, so I have two.
Yeah.
I have two.
Where are the sheep from? What state is that going to be from?
You
I
kept
feel like
talking about Tennessee. Come on, playing
Yeah.
on the stereotype.
yeah. I don't
All
know
right,
if I don't know if that's a stereotype of Tennessee. I feel like Tennessee's above sheep.
But Colorado isn't, my friend.
No, Colorado.
all right.
Colorado doesn't have sheep.
We have
just
goats.
Have pots.
We have mountain goats. I've
Goats and
seen them in
pots.
person on Mount Evans.
Yes,
seen
yes,
the
yes.
mountain goat.
Oh, Mount Evans.
Yeah, beautiful, by the way. All right, so we'll start with Reddit. This one is interesting, and I think it could get controversial. So I want us to talk about it. I want the chat to talk about it. It was posted by AK74907, and the title of the post was $5 forum access ? Question: why would they being Visionary Realms, charge $5 for forum access? Wouldn't they want people on the forums fostering community? What are your thoughts about this? Because I have a very strong take on this issue, but I want to throw it to
chime
Nathan
in
first.
I want to chime in real quick
I want
first
to hear
because
Nathan first.
AK7, okay, his name is AK7. His PIN number at his for his bank account is 4907. I think that's where he came up with the name. So it's AK7 4907 is his PIN. All right, so there you go. Okay, all right, Nathan, go ahead, go for it.
What do you think, Nathan?
Okay, so I think that they wanted it to be that club mentality, right? So, you're in the club, therefore you're probably going to behave better. I think at this point in time in development, if they opened it up, people would just kind of pour in and try to trash it.
Yeah,
so
no
I
doubt
think
about
that they're just trying to keep it. They're trying to keep it, like somebody said in the chat, inclusive, and that it's not a big amount of money. It's $5, and it comes with any pledge package, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So,
And you know who doesn't have $5? The 13-year-old that's gonna jump on and just be like, "This game looks like crap." You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I $5. Now, I don't want to sound elitist because there are
Right.
a lot of people that probably $5 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
But those overall, I would say that those people are also not super pumped for a sub game.
Right.
You know what I mean? Those are my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Boom.
Well, there's a couple comments in chat where it looks like Mushy. They said, I think they need more money because they have no publisher. Well, okay. I just want to say, so I love you, man, but here's the thing. It takes a lot of money to run an office, like a lot of money. So they're getting their money that they're getting for the startup of this is coming from other sources because having done startup businesses before and working in startup organizations, it's amazing how fast you can blow through several $1 million. Like you can take several $1 million of an investment into an organization and that is gone in a year, like easy when you're talking about salaries and different things like that you have to worry about for that type of a company. So this is probably not going to make them a huge chunk of change. This is more just I think a preventative measure to sort of keep out some people. And also I think there's a pacing to this whole thing. I think that what video game companies are learning, and I think it's evident from this new Apex video game, that companies are actually wising up to this. You can overhype a game and create a lot of problems for yourself. I think WildStar may have suffered from that a little bit. I think WildStar might have overhyped themselves, and I even remember, champagne corks popping when they launched, and kind of like we're gonna absolutely trump WoW and all this stuff. That kind of hype can really lead and set you up for a failure because you're sort of saying, I guess I'd rather a video game underpromise and overdeliver. So you got Apex that just launches one day, and they launched one day because they knew they couldn't withstand the trolls with the type of game that they were going to have. They knew that wouldn't last. They knew that was going to be the down of the game, so they just launched it. They just said, "Here's our game," and then it had 25 million players in like a week. It's amazing about what underpromising and overdelivering can do, and I really feel that's one of the things Pantheon's got going for them. Is I feel like they're like, we're going to pace this out. We're going to get a good core group. We're not going to go in there and say this is going to be the WoW killer or anything like that. We're going to go in and just say this is going to be a fun game. This is what it is. This is how you're going to play it. These are the people that are going to enjoy it, and they're going to make a little niche. And so I think this is just part of that plan to kind of roll this out. I think we'll see a lot of this until the game launches.
Yeah, and I'll just add a very simple statement. Investment in anything changes your behavior, period. Investment in a relationship, investment financially. If you invest yourself into a process, a thing, it will shape your behavior. And you are less likely to be that asshat, that negative person.
Especially a charitable investment.
Yeah,
like that.
if you don't have a horse in the race.
Because you have something to lose at that point, right? If you invest something, even as, again, I'm with you, Tess, $5 is a cup of coffee at Starbucks to some degree, but at one point in time, I remember finding a $5 bill and putting gas on my car, and I was elated. So I know it can be a lot of money for certain people.
Yeah,
but it still is an investment in something, and so that changes behavior.
Now I have a bunch of money. Well, I have a bunch of money invested though in Activision and Blizzard, and I bash on them constantly.
Oh my gosh! Get out now!
I literally my stock is taken. I'm got like monkeys just chasing me down, trying to steal all my money out of my pockets. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Moving on. Moving on. Boom's trying to get me angry. Moving on to the Pantheon forums. And this one is also a bit controversial, but it ties into something Nathan mentioned earlier in his predictions about the newsletter. And here we go. From the Pantheon forums posted by Deathwish, any updates on if next phase? Question is there going to be another pre-alpha being rolled out, or will it be alpha next? Any word on an estimated date when either may be planned? Jonesing for new gameplay stream after November. The silence is killing me. As I read through several posts or replies to that initial post, I found some interesting nuggets, and kind of two positions that I wanted us to talk about tonight. Here's the first. Reminds me of something I heard when I was in the military. I love this. Take your time. You only get one shot. But if you take too long, you'll miss the only shot you get. That's one position.
That's super deep. Yeah, that's super deep.
And then the other position is just take as long as you want. Right. And when it's ready, it's ready. The old Blizzard, as you talked about. Boom. So what do you guys think? Do you Nathan's kind of put it out there. Maybe you want to speak to it again, Nathan, that you don't necessarily think there's going to be like subsequent alpha phases, because people in the thread were saying there's going to be 10.
And there may be, they may. But I think that this one, is very, well, obviously it's very different than the others, okay? Because their key wording was that this one is the, how is it worded? The minimum caliber of the game at launch.
The granddaddy one.
Well, and
they made a big deal out of it.
That this is a reference zone, kind of like a template for things to come.
Right. And for the other zones. And I think what they're trying to do here is they don't want to show us every zone in the game before the game comes out. So I think this is where we're going to spend pretty much the rest of our time in. So that way when the game launches, we the rest of the world is totally new. And I think, just my opinion, but I think that it would make sense to me that this would be the final pre-alpha if everything goes according to plan. Now, if things get all screwed up and they're not working and they got major problems, then they may, take a little break again, try to get everything corrected, and then do another pre-alpha. But I think if this goes smoothly, that this could be it, and we could be entering alpha, another break for a month or two, and then maybe enter alpha. And that's what I'm hoping for, at least.
So
Tess,
I got to share something with you. Okay. Gillidan reminded me of this in chat. They were talking about the talent trees. I'm not making this up. So a couple nights ago, I'm deep asleep. Right? I'm completely out to the world. I don't know what's going on. in some sort of alternate reality. Now, in this alternate reality, I got to play Alpha.
Were you laying on the floor because your back had just been thrown out because you were moving a television again?
No, that does happen on a regular basis, but this was actually, I was hovering above the bed, I think. Anyway, in this dream, I'm playing Pantheon, and I open up the talent tree. And when I open it up, it was the most beautiful talent tree progression. I opened it up, and there
are no talent trees in Pantheon, so you must be dreaming.
This was a dream. This is a dream I had. I had a dream of colored mana, of talents.
No, colored mana is
I had a dream of all kinds of things, but I'm just saying, like, I opened it up and there was a billion ways to play. I had buttons to click. It was amazing.
Well, you'll still have buttons to click. You can even downrank spells. But to my knowledge, and maybe Nathan in the chat can speak to it, I've heard Joppa speak to this a couple times where he's like,
okay,
you will specialize on the limited action set of 12 buttons. So
sure,
you'll have 12 buttons.
But how are you going to determine those things? How are you picking these things? Like how you're doing this?
Pick them out of combat.
They're situational. They're situational, which is I'm super excited about situational abilities. I'm sorry, I'm getting way ahead of myself. I am so excited.
No,
there are so many things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about Living Codex so bad. I really want to talk about that feeling of advancement, not just because I'm level 20 so I get this spell.
Right.
I want the feeling of I'm a genius. I had the idea to mix this spell and put them together.
Ooh,
and now I made this awesome huge spell. Yeah. It's like
where do you sit?
Excited.
Where do you sit, Tess, then on the idea of boob physics? Where do you fit? Where do you sit with that? Where does that come into play?
Okay. Very, very really, because there are many games, Tara, with boob physics.
Yes, I want to hear about your boob physics theory.
My gaming ladies to have a very excellent support bra.
I see. Okay, so you want
held up.
Okay. Now what about the other side of the equation? What about
Oh, no, I don't want to see any. No, I don't.
You don't want flippity flappities?
What's good for
I don't want any flippity flappity.
The gander. Come on.
Yeah.
No, but the same thing. I want everyone to have support.
Okay, that's fair.
So
I want
we want a very
supportive. To have support.
All right, so Pantheon, if you're listening, we want a very supportive game. Okay, I'm glad that we cleared all this up though, because these are real questions that you have to ask when you're making a game.
Oh my
I think
God.
if I was to own a video game studio, one of the first questions I'd bring everybody into the boardroom and I'd say, okay, where are we at on flippity flappities and boob physics? What are we doing here? Where are we going with this? Because it really sets the tone. There is no flippity flappities and real boob physics in World of Warcraft, right? And that was, I think, a decision that was made early on in the development of the game.
Good.
But hey, listen, Minus brought this up last week. Visionary Realms could take the path of Conan Exile, or Conan, where you had real junk in the game.
Now, was that real junk?
Then we'll see male genitalia bouncy,
No.
Bouncy.
Was that what happened? Like that you could derobe and that's what was going on?
Yes.
And it was very PvP, so like you can imagine a teabag in first person view.
Oh my God.
It was bad.
Legit.
It was bad. It will scar you. Yes.
I would never wear clothes in game.
Boom Fragile wants to know,
Yes.
Does the flippity flappity matter if it's just one pixel?
I don't know. This is a tough question. Is that going to be a slider that you get to pick in the game when you're making the character? You just get a slider.
With the one pixel, I think it would make like an Atari beep. Like
yeah.
Yes.
Right.
No.
One
side
of this slider, you got the 1 pixel. The other side, you got a Hodor. So you got a couple different.
You got
options.
Pong on the left side, and you got Hodor on.
My Lord!
All right. Sorry,
I love
Nathan.
that
We're off the rails.
I'm assuming that I'm the youngest person here.
You're hurting me.
Whatever, old man.
That's okay. I embrace it.
Yeah.
No.
On a
And I'm
more
not
serious
that young, but
on a more serious
I
note,
love
though.
that I'm the most mature person.
Yes, you are for sure.
What time
the
is
most
it, Boom?
mature
What
person.
time is it? What time is it, Boom?
We're running out of time. But anyway, on a more personal note, like a more serious note, I do hope that they make some progress here in 2019 because 2019 is,
I'm sure they
to
will.
your statement, 2019 is a prime spot. And there's a lot of bad going on in this kind of MMO world. And that 2019 is just it's a sweet spot. It's a sweet spot. But you know, things are done when they're done. I get that as well. Let's go ahead. We're gonna move on.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that special
I
time
want
of night.
you all to have a very, very happy Valentine's Day.
That's
You
right.
Pause. You pause. You said, "I want you all."
I did not.
You
Yeah.
paused on purpose when you said that. You
Oh my
did.
goodness. Oh my goodness. It's time, guys, to get soft
Please.
with the community. Militus, what do we got to get soft with tonight?
We have all kinds of things to get. Well, Nathan's first up to get soft with us tonight because
Okay, great.
he
All
had
right.
he had not one, but he had two sexy videos
Yes.
this past week that I recognize. Maybe he had more, but definitely two that I recognize. One, as Tess mentioned earlier, is a must-watch that talks about server populations, rule
Mhm.
sets, server tech, balancing,
So great.
more realms, all kinds of good issues. Like a really good talk about it. And I really hope that
Everybody
Visionary
needs to go to
Realms.
this. Yeah.
watches this as well, because I
Yeah.
think you put some really good good points there, Nathan.
Yes.
And then my personal favorite, like the first one was good, Nathan, but the second one was amazing because Nathan drops the rhymes
Mhm.
and he goes straight up like Unicorn crosses Dr. Dre and talking about like how to be a good DPS. And I'm doing absolutely no justice to it. You must watch it to enjoy the humor about it, but it's really cool. It's like be a good DPS, and there's rap, there's some unicorns, there's some craziness. Yeah, and the puppets is all there. So go check that out for sure. We got the link in the show notes. We got Battle Axe, man, Def threw out this community love video. You guys get a chance to see it? Nathan, you check it. Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah,
You and
it
I
was
were going
awesome.
back and forth in the comment. Well,
Yeah.
Def did a really cool job of like he threw us some love.
Yeah, that was really
Which I thought
nice.
was
That was really nice. Yeah.
Since we're so new to the community, he threw some love. And of course,
Aw.
we threw Nathan and all the established members, Bazgroom, Voices of Terminus, Pantheon Plus, everybody. He was showing everybody love, and he kind of profiled us. And he called us, Tess, you're gonna love this. He said we were like the morning drive show of Pantheon. Is what he called
That's
it.
great. Yeah.
Which I know you
Yeah.
love that branding.
I love it. I love it so
Well-
much because our kind of humor makes me snort when I laugh. So,
Is it gonna happen though after the flippity flappity stuff? Do you think
Yeah.
he's gonna?
Yeah.
Do you think he's gonna post a retraction?
No,
probably, because he's an adult.
Yeah, right. I know.
Well,
I'm sorry,
he had
everybody.
this-
I'm 13, so you know.
he had this one part of the video. Listen, he speaks to Nathan's intro, obviously in the video, but this one part he tries to talk like Chris Kane. And then
He gets him a
takes
little
drink.
shot.
He takes a drink of something like Red Bull or something, and he's just like he has this amazing voice transformation. So go check that
Oh,
out.
that's cute.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Let's see. So from Battle Axe, we go to Chris Kane. Nice segue there. He released a new Seed in the Wyrm. It's all about flora and fauna of Terminus.
Fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. You should definitely. Chris Kane. If you're listening, Chris,
Yes.
I have to say this, and I mean this in a completely heterosexual manner.
Yes. Okay. All right.
But
When you
I
have to
like
preface
fall-
that,
I
you
like to
don't
lay
mean
in
that.
bed.
Yes.
I like to lay in bed. Put my
okay.
earbuds in
Oh.
just before
Yes.
bed and
Mhm.
turn on some Chris Kane
Oh.
because
Wow.
it's just a nice relaxing way to immerse yourself. And you talked about dreaming about Terminus.
Yeah.
If you listen to Chris Kane before you go to bed, I'm assuring you as a psychologist, listen to me.
Yeah.
You want to prompt yourself for dreams? Listen to
Yeah.
Chris Kane before you go
Okay.
to sleep, my
All right.
friend.
Chris Kane,
You will
the
start
Dream
dreaming
Master.
about stuff.
All right. All
Yeah,
right.
there you
We
go.
got it. Chris Kane, the Dream Master. Fantastic.
Pantheon Plus Minus had some scrub join him to talk about the warrior class.
Yeah, who is that
Oh, yeah.
loser?
That was weird.
Some old dude. I just noticed he
That
was
was
An
old
old
as hell.
dude.
Yeah.
who talked about it from almost a cleric perspective.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Okay. Well,
go
that's
check
okay.
it
That's
out.
good. That's good.
Hey, listen, all I know is that Minus carried me, so go check it out. Joe Leonard breaks down the Druid. I checked this out today, and I like Joe. He brings that EQ perspective to
Mhm.
the game,
Mhm.
and I never played EQ, so I appreciate him always kind of framing Pantheon for me in that way. And he was
That's
kind of breaking down the differences between the Druid and EQ and the Druid and Pantheon. I love
Mhm.
that. And VOT, they left us earlier. They're with us in chat. They had to depart, but
Mhm.
they actually interviewed Minus last week.
Oh,
And
yes.
I love those guys.
They
And
are good.
Lex was actually very
It's
nice.
amazing.
I think Lex gets the bad rap personally. I think people think he's angry all the time or something about Red, but I think he's a pretty nice guy actually. And deep inside, maybe we need to have a Milla Lex therapy session or something one day.
That sounds
Wait.
good.
Deep inside of that hard shell, there's a loving, nurturing man
Let me talk to him.
that displays empathy
Mm-hmm.
and
Mhm.
just an intense insight into human
I
nature.
hear that.
I
I hear that.
I bet I
Just
could
don't
make
give
him
him enough credit for it.
smile.
You would, Tess. You would. Inside he's a teddy bear. I'm convinced of it. On the outside, he's got this tough periphery, but on the inside, he's a really nice guy.
Deep inside.
Deep.
Real deep.
No, I
Real
don't
deep.
think
The
so.
layers of the onion. You have to peel the layers of the onion back quite a ways, but I think
Oh my
he's
goodness.
Oh,
All right.
I really want to give him a hug now.
And
You
for
wanna give
anyone
him-
we missed,
Yeah.
that's the videos and stuff I caught. If you want to catch everything, I know Minus somehow captures everything.
Yeah,
Go check
I
out
know.
Pantheon.
I know he captures everything at all. Well, it's time for shout outs. I want to first shout out and say thank you, Nathan Napalm, for coming on our show.
Yes, thank you.
It would
Thank
not
you.
have been
Thanks for having
such
me
a
on.
great show. You are so wonderful, and we're so blessed to have you as part of the community. And we want to make sure that we have you on again in the future. Loved it. Thank you for the song and the puppets and the good time. Wonderful stuff. I also want to shout out to all the people, those wonderful workers that lost their job at Blizzard. I have to give them a shout out because I'm so sorry, man. That sucks. And we were a World of Warcraft podcast before this, and I know there's some listeners that have carried over. Horrible things. So sorry, guys. Losing your job is the worst.
That
Well,
does.
and can I say this? I thought this was really sweet, though, that the whole gamer community, all of the tweets that I saw kind of pertaining to this was all of these game studios, indie and big, going, hey, are you a Blizzard employee that just got laid off?
Yeah, there were
Give
some
us
big
a
companies
call.
doing that.
We're
yeah,
hiring.
That was cool.
And that was really nice. I'd also like to give a shout out to all my Pantheon gaming ladies in chat. What's up, ladies?
Gaming
guys?
ladies,
Hey,
yes.
guys?
No,
yes.
especially the ladies.
Well, I'm giving a
Yes.
shout out to all my boys in chat.
Okay, so historically, everyone, but I want to specifically target all of my
Ladies.
gaming ladies. Thanks for coming out and thanks for supporting. They need our voice too. So
Oh,
I'm so
yeah.
glad that you guys are here.
Yeah, no, it's been just a wonderful time. I don't have any other shout outs. I am looking forward to Sunday, everybody. Come join us if you would like to play some Vanguard. We'll post all the information. We expect to have, let's just get like 60, 70 people in there. Let's just do it. So,
just raiding across the server.
Let's just go for it. Let's just get it. I'd like to see everybody there on Sunday. So break out your old PCs, dust them off, and load them up. Let's go.
Before we log off, Mr. Nathan Napalm, sir, how can people get in contact with you?
Please.
Where can they go?
Okay, so they can find me on Twitch, the Nathan Napalm. You can find me, of course, on YouTube, the Nathan Napalm, and that's about it.
It's simple, easy.
And like many of you have already done tonight, thank you so much for supporting us on Twitch. This show is completely 100% funded by those Twitch Prime subs, and we love you for that. It really does help us out. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are out.
Our cult will rule the world.